The imposter syndrome is something that I would say every I don't want to say every, but I want to say 99% of founders, CEOs that I meet with have imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And when you get going on it, I'm like, I have imposter syndrome. They haven't, we're kind of going back and forth. And I talked to someone the other day, sold a company for multiple billions. They had imposter syndrome, had to start another company to prove it wasn't a fluke. Like literally, that's what they told me. And I believe them. And I'm curious from that perspective, how it manifested for you and or how you help people with that, because I think it's pretty deep seated,
So I'll talk about how I coach on it first, because I think I've done a better job coaching on it than for myself. I think it just took some time. Part of the hard thing about imposter syndrome is what it leads to, which is not being confident enough to make the decisions that you need to make. That's aside from like, ruining your day in your head. That the way that it manifests is by that, not being decisive and confident in decisions. So I found that in most cases, the CEOs that I worked with and also myself, that they actually know what they want to do. And it may not be entirely obvious to them at the beginning of the section, but with a few questions, like the path really reveals itself. And then it's just about the hard thing of doing the thing that you really intuitively know that you need to do, but you don't want to do, like letting the person go or pivoting away from something people have been slaving over for a while, but it's just not working fast enough. And so in my coaching, I help them get into the place and help them get to the answer themselves. Sometimes I'll tell them the answer, but usually like they know the answer. Most of the time they do know the answer. And their gut gets stronger. I mean, you know this, like your gut gets stronger over time as you start to trust it. And then once they know what they need to do, then I'll help them get into the mental place to actually do the thing, because it becomes about doing the thing, and I'll hold them accountable to it. And sometimes we may, if it's like I gotta let you go or what have you, we'll role play it in advance and just get to the place, and then that's their homework. Their homework is like they have to go do this hard thing, and I hold them accountable to that. Boards hold CEOs accountable for output metrics. So you can't really control output metrics of growth and revenue. I hold people accountable to input metrics, and those are the things you can control. And what I've seen, and this was the same for me, is that after a while, when we start to be more decisive and you do the thing that you know you need to do, the imposter syndrome stuff starts to go away, because you just like, this is the job. I'm actually like reasonably good at the job. I mean, for all like the other thing is like a lot of folks who were founders, especially like the Y Combinator archetypes, that they've been getting gold stars their whole lives. And all of a sudden you're going to do this thing where like, if you get a 20 on a test, that's such a win. So I think helping them to kind of reframe what success looks like, and that you could, that there's a lot of luck in it, and that you can only control the input metrics, and you just have to make the right call with very little information. And my own experience with it is that it does get better over time. I'm curious your experience with it.
Yeah, I do think there's something about the reps where you have an idea or you want to do something, it takes you a long time to trust that that's the right thing to do. Then you do it and you see that that was the right thing. And if you do that enough times for yourself, you have to remind yourself sometimes, but you're like, oh, I should let that person go. I'm not really sure, but you should let them go. But I was thinking about this the other day where I would like tell my wife, like, I'm having this really big problem with this particular person. And by the ninth time of me telling her, she's like, well, I think you know the answer to what this is. And then you would do it. And for both sides of the equation, for both people, it's probably the right thing to do. And if you do it enough times, I think you do start to trust that and yourself more, because you see you're not always right, but you at least see that it's like something about your gut. I think the part you said, which is, this goes back to the CEO support system, which is a big topic right now for us with not another CEO, but the keep it holding them accountable. And it's not like you're their board member. You can't fire them. You can't, but it almost doesn't matter. It's just them saying it out loud to a person who's going to then check on them doing that. That I can see that must be super powerful, because they're not going to go to their board member probably and tell them, I think I need to fire this person, because that creates a whole different dynamic. But they can have that conversation with you. You can then say, okay, you made that decision. Next time we talk, I'm going to come back and ask you that. And just having some accountability makes a big difference.
It really does. And it's a little bit like hiring a personal trainer, I guess. Like, you're investing in it. Like, you're like, the company is investing a lot. Like, a great CEO coach is expensive. And so the company is investing a lot of money in the CEO's growth. And like, you're on the hook. Like, you got to do what you agreed that you were going to do. Otherwise, like, what's the point? And I've never actually had to do this, but I've threatened a couple of times. Like, they don't do their homework, I'll fire them, because I get energy from watching a person grow.